Secretary, the President.
And your meeting with Foreign Minister Joby, do you understand why the Canadians are taking such umbrage at these comments coming from the President? Is that something?
The Canadian government has made their position, how they feel about it, clear. The President has made his argument as to why he thinks Canada would be better off joining the United States for economic purposes. There's a disagreement between the President's position and the position of the Canadian government. I don't think that's a mystery coming in, and it wasn't a topic of conversation because that's not what the summit was about.
Mr. Secretary, you said that the tariff policy was not hostile. However, President Trump yesterday in his social media post said that the EU previously had been hostile and abusive towards the United States. How do you square that? And secondly, is he serious when he's talking about the 51st state being Canada?
Well, I've already answered the question about Canada.
No, is he serious? Do you take him seriously?
We're not discussing that here today because that's not what the purpose of this meeting was about. As far as the question that you're asking me about hostility, yeah, you look at the EU. Okay, the EU has a GDP basically comparable to that of the United States. The composition of their economy is similar to ours. These are not developing countries, these are developed countries, and yet they have a significant trade surplus with the United States, even though our economies are pretty much the same. These are not low-wage countries. That's a problem. All the President is saying is we need to equalize treatment. Whatever they do to us, we need to do to them, in addition to pointing to certain sectors that we have to protect. Who can argue against the idea that if some country charges us X to export our products, we should charge them the same? I get it. If you're a country or the EU that's benefiting from the status quo, you feel it is hostile to change the status quo because it's to your benefit. The problem is the President of the United States is looking out for the United States, both in national security and in economic relations. We will reset the basis of our trade relationship, and then we can enter into negotiations for something that's enduring and fair to both sides. That's what the President seeks to do, and that's what it begins by resetting, at a reciprocal way, the amount of tariffs we charge one another in our trade relations.
Mr. Secretary, I take